Reejai, Reejai, Reejai. Today is Friday, so I haven't eaten anything since Sunday evening. But this mind experiment was amazing. Last night was the first time let's see how many days. Monday was day one, so 2, 3, 4. Today is day 5. First time in 4 days that I thought about food, and I thought about seriously ending the fast. When I say seriously, the thoughts only lasted maybe a minute, maybe 2 minutes. But in those 2 minutes, I have a memory of consciously thinking about eating and thinking about, oh, if I eat, it's okay, and doing all the rationalization stuff, saying, oh, if I, and trying to make it work that eating was the right thing to do. Now, that minute soon passed, and afterwards, just carried on. But those are the minutes that destroy us. That when you're an alcoholic, you haven't had a drink for years, and say 2 years, and then something happens, and the thought pops into your head, and you're thinking, oh, I need a drink now, I need a drink now. And those are the thoughts that destroy you. In the 2 years that you didn't have those thoughts, there was no, and this is a key word, there was no temptation. Temptation. What everybody seems to suffer from temptation. Everybody seems to have this problem of temptation. Well, look, I'm a non-smoker, but I was a 60 plus a day man. Now that's quite excessive, but for those of you who don't smoke, let me give you an idea. Before I got out of the bed in the morning, I used to have 1 or 2 cigarettes before I got out of bed. And I used to use the cigarette I was smoking, finishing, to start my next cigarette. That's to be 60 plus a day. That's the level to which you need to smoke. I used to bite my fingernails to the quick. All kinds of things. I used to have massive trouble getting out of bed in the morning. A whole lot of problems like this, and a lot of the time I would be fine. But then these moments where temptation creeps into my mind, once the temptation was there to roll over and go back to sleep instead of getting up when I was supposed to get up, and it was important for me to get up, just having a quick gnaw on my fingernails because it's tempting, because it just seems like the most important thing in the world I had to do at that moment was to chew on my fingernails again or to light up another cigarette. Now, unfortunately, those times, the temptation times, generally are the ones that decide your life. Now, people know that if they give in to temptation, that in some way their lives are worse off. What this 40-day, 40-night water-only fast is about, for me, is trying to get it so the temptation doesn't come into your mind. Now, I was very successful for the first 4 days of the fast. For the first 4 days of the fast, I was no problem at all. But let me add at this stage, I did do 3 false starts, which I videoed, which the temptation hit me before the end of day 1. And before the end of day 1, I just collapsed. I just changed because the temptation was too strong. This time, I've done, I'm on day 5, and I've only had 1 moment of temptation in all that time. Now, this is something that I'm really, really curious about, because temptation is a massive, massive problem with most people. Anybody on a diet knows what a problem temptation is, but they also know, or they should know, what it feels like when there is no temptation, when you're just going through your life and everything's fine and there's no temptation. Now, I know which state I'd rather have. I'd rather have the condition where there is no temptation. I don't think about smoking. If if I do, it's not a temptation. It's usually to think how stupid smoking is and how ridiculous smoking was, and that I ever started it. That's how I think of smoking, not a temptation. So how do you change something from a desire and a temptation and a desire to not even a thought? That's what this 40 days and 40 nights is all about. In order to achieve something like not eating food consciously for 48 hours, you have to do something with your mind. You have to do something different. You have to be able to control the temptation, basically. Either it never pops into your head, or when it pops into your head, you can do something about it. Now, I like the first one. The first one is more fun. There's no battle in that when the temptation doesn't pop in your head, and that's what I'm looking into. That's what makes willpower effortless and self-control easy, is when the temptation doesn't even pop into your head. Reejai, Reejai, Reejai.